Thank you so much. So we live in a beautiful country, and this flag here represents our freedom. And there's a lot of people that have fought to protect our freedoms. If there's any veterans in the room, I'd like you to stand so we can properly acknowledge you. Is there any veterans that are in the room right now? No veterans? There is a veteran. Awesome. Our speaker next month is a veteran. So very good. Thank you, Larry. Could we get everyone to please stand, and we're going to recite the 31 words that have been put together to protect our freedoms. It's called the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so very, very much. So at this time, what we'd like to do, part of our mantra and part of our core competencies is to actually provide an opportunity to build relationships. And that's what's going to happen today. Some people call it networking, but what we want to do is really refer to it as building relationships. So we're going to go around the room right now, and we're going to do self-introductions. So everyone gets an opportunity to get to know who you are. But this is not like a 30-second or a 3-hour talk. This is simply just, I'm going to say it right now. I'm Bobby Spiegel, President and CEO for the Corona Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Anthony.
I am Anthony Maldonado, Programs Coordinator here at the Corona Chamber.
Please stand and then face everyone.
Hi, my name is Liliana Batan, company BN Asesoría Financiera.
Good morning, my name is Joe Ciancio. I lived in Corona here for now 42 years. I'm retired, and retired means it's good vacation pay.
Good morning, my name is Vicky Delon, from the BL Asesoría Financiera.
Good morning, guys. I'm just south of you, even though I don't have an accent from Marietta, but I'm Mike Hayden with the HR Group.
Excellent.
Good morning, I'm Larry Townsend with Townsend Productions.
Good morning, Conrad Padilla, Crown Companies.
And I'm Christy with DFI Insurance. Desiree Ramirez, Vice President, Corona Chamber of Commerce.
Robert Yanez, Membership Development Coordinator, Corona Chamber.
I'm Adrian Soto, and I'm here to support my friend David Prado.
Hi, I'm Araceli Melendez. I'm with Full Scope Mortgage.
Hello, I'm Taff Young. I'm here with Emotion Media, supporting David Prado.
I'm Nolan Gagnano. I'm here with Simplify Crypto, supporting David Prado.
Samantha Maestro, Miss Corona USA, and supporting the speaker.
Good morning, my name is Sandra Prince. I am the Spiritual Director for Center for Spiritual Living, Redlands.
Stephanie Shapiro, Vice President, Corona Chamber. My name is Francine Cazot, and I started an e-commerce business.
Buenos días, Janina Ramirez with Tailored Space, the new co-working space out here in Los Lagos.
Alexandra Hernandez, ANS Residential Solutions.
Samantha Jacobson, also ANS. I do brand strategy and marketing.
Good morning, Alana Morrissey. I'm with Happiest Hours Mobile Bartending and the upcoming Wine and Spirit Shop.
Good morning, I'm Buzz Braun. I'm retired, but currently serving as the volunteer pastor for Bedford Community Church.
I'm Tammy Harwick, and I'm the sponsorship and marketing specialist here at the Chamber.
It's kind of hard where I'm at, but my name is Marina. Good morning, guys. I am a certified mortgage advisor, and I pretty much help people with the American dream.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Bogashev from Amcare Retail Pharmacy.
Hi, good morning. Amanda Wicker with the City of Corona's Office of Economic Development.
Hi, Ramon Solis, supporting the speaker.
Hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm David Prado.
Hi, my name is Teresa. I'm David's mom.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jenny, and I'm developing a network marketing with natural products. The name of the company is For Life Research.
Good morning, my name is Dino Fulton with Annual Profit Strategies.
Good morning, Joe Diaz with Primerica.
Hi, good morning, Delia Escobar with Le Monarch Designs and R&D Media, and I'm here to support both speakers.
Let's give it on up for all of you for being here today. This is awesome. So I'm going to call out a couple of people. We just, the month of April is our innovation month for Riverside County, and Corona, the city of Corona and the Chamber of Commerce hosted a local, it was called a regional competition. And our second place and first place winners are in the room. So you guys heard from them just a minute ago, but Alana is with Happiest Hours, second place. So congratulations. They won $500 for their pitch. And first place was from ANS. That's both Alexandra and Samantha are here. So they're going to compete. Yeah, give them a round of applause. They're going to compete on the countywide. They won $1,000, but on the countywide competition at the end of this month down in Temecula, they're going to win $10,000 when they come in first place. So give them a round of applause. So at the end of today's session, we do want to make sure that you have an opportunity to build those relationships. That's why we went around the room, so you could get to know folks and kind of introduce yourself and get to know who the people are. We are pretty social at the Chamber, even though I don't quite understand it all. That's why we've got David here to talk a little bit more about TikTok. But these hashtags, we want you to hashtag Corona Chamber as well as Corona Rocks. And we just are excited about the various things that are going on in our community. You're going to hear a little bit from our business partner in just a minute. Amanda's going to be up shortly to just share some things that are going on with the city as well as what we do here at the Chamber. In front of you, you've got a couple of printed items. The bi-monthly publication, Corona Business News. That is the March-April issue that you have there. Our May issue is going to print later this week, and we're just very excited about having, if you've got articles or you've got advertising that you maybe want to participate in, you can either see Robert or Tammy for the advertising components. If you've got articles that you'd like to submit them to Stephanie. And if there's room and if we can put that in, we will be sure to consider those. As well, I want to just explain that on March 19th, we have a tremendous seminar about taking your health to the next level. It is a seminar here at 12 o'clock on March 19th. One of the main people that are coordinating that is Conrad Padilla, but is the video, do we have video to run or not?
It does not. No.
Does not, okay. So what we want you to do is visit with Conrad later on, but there are three main speakers that are going to share on that. And it's different elements of your health on how to get your health in the proper lineup, because summer is right around the corner. We want to make sure that we do that. We invest so many times in different things in our business. What about investing in yourself? And so Conrad and the team that he's put together are pretty, what I'm going to call our experts in the industry. So we are going to have a jam-packed session on that one as well. We try to put 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag on everything that we do, so that you walk away saying, oh, this was excellent, it was not a waste of my time. There are a couple of things that are coming up. We've got our next event, Good Morning Corona. It's going to be on April 22nd. It is the business version of the State of the City. There is also one locally in Corona put on by the city, and that's on the 14th. This one is the 22nd. This is an early morning event up at Eagle Glen Golf Club. It comes with breakfast and a lot of good business relationships and building that bond. The networking aspect, but also why should you attend? Because you're going to get to hear firsthand what is going on from a business perspective from our mayor. So please register. We'd love to have you there. And as I shared when Larry introduced himself, our May Coffee with the Entrepreneur is going to be Larry Townsend, TM Production, and he's going to talk on he's the National Director of Law Enforcement Division for Emergency Medical Products, and he's going to share a tremendous program that he has kind of kick-started and has taken it by the bull by its horns. We want to welcome him to this, so put that on your calendar now to be here. And then we're going to have a full seminar later on with him sometime in May or in June. At this time, I would like to introduce our business partner, who is the City of Corona. And Amanda is part of the team down at the Economic Development for the city of Corona. That team there works with every business to help them expand, to help them relocate businesses from Orange County that want to locate to the beautiful Corona area. Amanda and her team work diligently on that. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amanda.
So much, Bobby. Good morning, everybody. I'm really happy to be here and to help sponsor this event. This is a wonderful series where we really get to hear inspiring stories, right? So that's what this whole session is about today. So I'll keep my comments really short and sweet because I know I'm excited to hear from today's speakers. But as Bobby mentioned, we are hosting the State of the City this Thursday evening, April 14th at our historic Civic Center. I do not have a flyer for that, but if you just visit coronaca.gov/State of the City, it'll take you right to the registration page. Totally free to attend. Really great to hear some updates from our Mayor Wes speak. And then also, you do have a flyer in front of you for our downtown revitalization meeting. Excuse me, that's a mouthful. So if you're interested in what's going on in Corona's downtown, how we're helping to try to reshape that area and really make it a thriving and vibrant destination, definitely want to encourage you to attend this meeting. We're going to be sharing some updates about where we're at in the process with our project team and our consulting firm. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. So we talked a little bit, I shared about the Innovation Month, and last month when Rachel Medina was here and kind of sharing a little bit about what she did, not a little bit, she shared a whole lot about what she's done. Very successful entrepreneur. And we had a gentleman that was sitting in the audience, his name is David Prado, and he is in TikTok, and I don't understand that enough. But what we did was we chatted and we said, boy, this would be great for you to come and share your experience. And I'm very, very excited that David and Rachel decided to come back. And Rachel's actually going to do an interview process and ask questions and go along with things so that David can go ahead and respond. You know, this is like cutting edge stuff of what's going on with business. People my age don't understand TikTok at all. This is a whole new industry for us, and we thought, let's learn from the experts. And I'm totally excited when I have young entrepreneurs, people that are just right out there doing things, to be able to learn from them. And so without further ado, I would like to invite Rachel Medina to come forward, as well as David Prado. And I'd like for you to give them a round of applause. So he is the founder of Emotion Media, and it's located right here in Corona. He has a passion for social media and digital marketing in e-commerce. He has created a growing team that manages different brands and projects, and even manages $2 million in sales within 2 months. So this is not just like a theory, this is fact that's going on. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic on over to Rachel.
Good morning, everyone. Those of you who maybe didn't see me last month, as he mentioned, I'm Rachel Medina. I'm an entrepreneur here in Corona. Also the host of the Rachel Unpacked Business Podcast for Women. And I also co-host a relationship podcast with my lovely friend Delia, who's right there in the corner. So if you need relationship advice, you know where to go. Back there. David, this is super exciting. This is your first public speaking opportunity, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. We're going to do this Q&A. So we'll go through this conversation, and then towards the end, right, Bobby, you'll let us know when the audience can ask questions, and then I'll repeat your question to David so that way the people watching at home can hear your question, okay? So we're going to start by you giving us a little overview of your entrepreneurial journey, okay?
How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me. So kind of like an overview of my journey, we'll start with just a lot of side hustles when it comes to camera work, videography, and just anything that got me out of working a regular job. But that was starting maybe since 16, and that kind of built up to creating like a toolbox of skills that combine for me to perform better in the e-commerce, which is kind of like what I stick to now. So yeah.
Great. So was there anything in that early stage that kind of, captured your attention without going into too many details, just like, you're kind of helping people out and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think the thing that sparked it for me was watching other young people on YouTube kind of have success with it. It didn't seem too good to be true, but I still kept seeing it, and then there was no difference between like the person watching, like the person making the video. So that really attracted me to the financial freedom, location freedom, and also just the ability to scale with like no limit to it.
So what I love about that is I love when people are sort of afraid to post. This is a lesson for all of the entrepreneurs in the room. When you sit there and you get stuck and you feel stuck about posting and you know you should be doing videos on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, we often get stuck. Or we see ourselves, some of us are getting older, I'm 47 years old, I'm like filter upon filter, right? And then we don't want to post. But by posting, you don't know who you're going to inspire. So here's this young man, right, who watched someone else's post on social media, YouTube, that then triggered and ignited an entrepreneurial journey for him, okay? So if you can't do it for yourself because you're just like, the lighting was horrible, do it knowing that you never know who you're going to inspire. So let's talk about your early beginnings, your family life, and sort of what shaped you as an individual.
Yes, so I actually came from Ecuador when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and we immigrated with my family, just my mom, dad, and brother. And I think we just moved around a lot. My dad was mostly a pastor, so we were always focused more on like faith and like church, and business wasn't really like a thing that we talked about too much. But yeah, we just kind of settled down in Corona after like a couple of years. Been here for like 10 years now.
So being that your father was a pastor, running a church and running any kind of mission, it still has a business element to it, right? So can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you might have seen him do, or any kind of mindset, tips that kind of came out of that? Maybe even things that you learned not to do along the way?
So it's actually just positive things, because it's just leadership. It taught me how to treat people, and that's kind of like the basic of everything that helped me and my business grow. It wasn't just myself, it was connecting with people and also creating relationships and knowing how to nurture them. It's literally what a pastor has to do. It's like manage 50, 100 people and make sure each one of them has a personal connection with each person, and they feel like taken care of, and they also feel like you pay attention to their problems. And that's the same thing that you have to do as a leader too, and also working with like teammates even across the country, because like most of my partners are like in different states. So we don't even have the chance to always meet in person, but you can still work with them and nurture that relationship through Zoom and all like the technology we have now.
So speaking about your father, I happen to know, because you're my son Adrian's friend, that your father did pass away, and that's at around the time that I met you and your mom. And so tell us a little bit about how that sort of led to what we're about to speak to about soon here about your brand.
Yeah, so I think about 9 months ago, my dad passed away with a heart attack, and the reason why she's bringing it up about like a product is he kind of like died wearing the product that I ended up testing to be able to then scale my brand. So kind of gave me the whole idea to go back, and that product was a product that I've already tried running myself as an e-commerce brand probably about 3 times, and never had like that type of success until like after.
Talk about how some of that pain and some of the messaging that he was sharing with you about ethics and sort of taking the moral high road in business, how that sort of shaped your thought process today.
Yeah, so prior to him passing away, I think it was a month before, I already had an opportunity to work with another person running e-commerce brands, but I was just running their paid advertisement. But I was running for a product that's like, it's NBA shorts, like copyrighted product, and because I was just affiliated to it, running ads, it didn't feel as bad, because obviously my dad's a pastor, so he was giving me like moral advice to it. And compared to every other product that I've sold, I think that's the easiest product that I've ever sold. Obviously we know why, but I had a conversation with him, I think 2 weeks prior to his death, about like just doing the right thing, and like I had to choose from like the amount of money that I was making from that product, but it wasn't a real business or anything good that I could build out long term, or shut it down and just go back and find something myself and build it from like the ground up. And that's something I ended up deciding to just quit after that, and then clearly it all kind of played out.
So that is a wonderful thing that I heard you share with me the other day, because I thought, so often, especially if you're an individual looking to get into e-commerce, you're going to go do research and you're going to see things on social media that people are selling, and it looks, they're like inspired by brands, right? And I won't say the names, but there's a lot of luxury brands and even sports brands that they're not authentic, but they look authentic, and they're sort of marketed as authentic. And we all see them, and if you're a young individual watching this, or at any age, and you're tempted to go down that route, you just know that that's ethically right in business standards. It's just not the right thing to do. So for David to be able to have that experience and have his father, who's a pastor, say, the money's good, but is it really, right? At what cost? So thank you for sharing that. Let's get into how do you choose a product, right? How do you choose a winning product for econ?
Yeah, so I think that's like the main issue when people try to start an e-commerce brand, is just not knowing what to sell. Kind of same thing as a business owner when you don't know what service to offer. But when it comes to products, there's like, you have to pick how much you want to work to be able to sell that product. So you could choose to go with a trend or a product that's already broad to everyone, or you could choose to niche down. So the broad one will be easier for you to actually scale and be able to sell it. But when you're choosing to niche down and pick a category, then it's going to take way more effort. You have to build out something that stands you up, so it stands you out, and have different selling propositions, creating irresistible offers, and all that. It's like a bundle, a combination that makes a product be able to actually sell.
So let's get to what a lot of people are kind of waiting to hear. Let's talk about the winning product. So your father, you mentioned, was actually wearing the product that this past holiday season took you to that $2 million retail sale. So let's get into that.
Yeah, so the product is, I don't know if you guys know the Snuggie, or like the Comfy. It's a very big hooded blanket. That product, I've already remembered testing it, I think. By testing, I mean given the shot of running an ad and actually seeing that there's demand to it. So that's kind of the only way that you prove a concept, right? And now we have the ability to prove that within a week. We could just launch a product, post it online. If you have likes, comments, we show demand, and you clearly know maybe you can put time into this before you have to actually try super hard to do a whole lot of paperwork to just test your idea. So being able to just get that product, he was running that product as well. I remember testing that product maybe 2-3 years ago, and it had demand, but I didn't know anything about actually how to run ads. I didn't really know how to make a social brand and also organic traffic. So now it just kind of came at the right time, because I already had a lot of friends and connections in that same space, and just also a lot of experience and failures with a bunch of other products that I've tried to get, but there was always a bottleneck. It was either someone missing the team that made the whole system run, or focusing on one thing about just sales but not having customer service and everything else to support that. So that product ended up becoming something that we focus on running on TikTok. We still did omni-channel marketing, which means just having every avenue, but we kind of focused on TikTok, and that really took off because it was pretty brand new, and TikTok is kind of the new Facebook when it comes to Facebook ads, to advertisement in general, and yeah, it kind of allowed us to grow with no limit.
If someone's looking to choose a product, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, what are some of the key things they should be looking for? Should they be trying to find a brand new product that no one's ever seen, that they think is really neat or cool that they would use? Or should they be looking to see products that are already being marketed and then maybe try it in their general area? What thoughts do you have about that?
So that's kind of based on experience. So if you're going to choose a product yourself and you're choosing it, you're making the decision to make that product work, then you know you're taking more effort, but you should have resources or experience to help you actually make that work. When you're choosing a trendy product or going with something that's already working, it's easier to get traction, and you also get to learn from all competitors. So at the beginning, kind of what most businesses do, and they do a competitive analysis, and they see okay, there's 5 different competitors. I'm gonna see the pros and cons, and kind of then make my own way of how I'm gonna sell this product or service. But that's much easier when you have a lot of competitors. If you're choosing a product that's unique, there's not much to compare yourself to, so you kind of have to choose everything, and it's way better to choose everything if you have prior experience to know what to choose and what's the key points that you should show off and showcase about your product and the way that you sell it.
So with that being said, would you recommend someone starting with a product that's already kind of popular, or would you recommend them starting brand new? I mean, I know you're kind of touching on it, but I'm genuinely curious. You know, it's like he's saying, if you have a product that no one's using, then you got to run ad tests sort of everywhere to get the data versus jumping into other people's data, right? Yeah. And kind of borrowing their audiences and that kind of thing. So talk about that a little bit.
So, yeah, we'll recommend definitely if you have no experience, to go with a product that's already working. Because like, it's kind of, I don't know, there's a saying, like, don't fix what's already working. So like, you just have to stick to that and then kind of learn what they're doing right, and then you create that yourself in your own way, and it's going to be much easier for you to see results, which is what keeps you going at first, right? Because when you start an idea and you don't get proof of concept within the first 2 weeks or something, it kind of like drags you down and you don't want to keep going, or the motivation to push that service or product. But if you already are able to kind of like hijack the traffic and like the attention that other people have established for that product, it's much easier. And then if you have something different, now people get the option to choose, like, I'm going to go with this brand or this person because they have something that I like that's different and unique compared to everyone else. It's still the same product, though.
Okay, well that's amazing. I mean, I kind of look at it, you know, we talk marketing all the time, right? We sit down, we have an office space there at Tailored Spaces. Janina's over there in the back. Wonderful space if you're looking to take yourself from home to a co-working environment. But so we collaborate along, we talk a lot about this, and I kind of look at it like the automotive industry, any industry. You're not going to go build a car from scratch. I mean, I guess Elon did it, so I shouldn't say no, right? To the moon. But at the end of the day, it's almost like you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just kind of putting your own spinners, your own rims on it, right? And so him and I, we talk a lot about that. It's like, okay, what's the really neat thing that looks like it's trending, but how can you add your own spin to it if you're trying to create, especially if you're trying to create a unique product, right?
Yeah. So I think it just comes down to like the irresistible offer that you want to build for that product. Something compared to like the blank hood, the Snuggie, which word, that's the product that worked for me. That product is something that people already knew. It's literally already in stores. So you'll think like, why would I go with a product that's saturated? But it was the different marketing angles and also like the offers. So we were competitive in the pricing, and also the way that we marketed the product was hitting a different demographic than the other products were at local stores or like in Walmart and so on. Because they're going for like the family, that type of demographic, the kids and like the parents who buy it for their kids. We were hitting TikTok, which 80% of users are 16 to 24. So we kind of knew like our demographic was that. And then we matched that with trends and things that are currently going on and they're relevant. Then it just like makes it kind of just flow in your own feed and it doesn't even seem like an ad. So now it grabs your attention, it takes you to the website, and that's where like you get sold on the product. And it's your choice. But on the website, it's really important to show your key points of why they should buy from you. Because before that, you should have done your like competitive analysis and seen what are they offering, what do I like about those offers, and how can I implement some type of like copying their ways in your way, but innovating from it and like adding a spin to it.
So I think an interesting thing that you said is the product already exists, and that's kind of what I think I'm trying to pull out of you. It's one of the things that I've learned along the journey, even working with you, is that there's essentially most products that you're familiar with. I was talking earlier about Skims, you know, Taft was trying to mic me up and he's like, I don't know if you want to go to the restroom. I'm like, oh God, I'm wearing Skims and all the garments and all the things, you're fine. But you can essentially choose the manufacturers, right, of these really popular products and then build your own brand around them, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so there's multiple ways we could do branded dropshipping, which is just finding a product. We'll just talk about dropshipping first. That's just a business model of finding a manufacturer for a product and then being able to buy it at a wholesale price and then sell it retail. So for our product, we got the product for $10, so you can sell it for $40 in our store, and then just take that profit in between. And then that's when you account for like advertising costs, which means to be able to get someone to buy that product, there's a cost per acquisition, right? And then you're paying that price to get that client to buy that product. So that's kind of how you gauge like the profit in between. You get it for 10, you pay $10 for someone to click your ad and go to your landing page and click buy. Now you have a profit of like 10 left, right? Because you have $20 spent. So that's kind of the dropshipping business model, and that allows you to not have to wait for lead time. So if you compare that to like a supplement brand, you want to actually make the product yourself and have like people that make it for you, it's a lead time of like 4 to 8 weeks just to build out your stock. So now you can't scale to $2 million in a month or $1 million in 1 month because you have to wait for that time, so it's kind of irresponsible of you to scale that much and make all the people wait, right? But with dropshipping, you're just partnering with manufacturers that already have the product just sitting there. They've made hundreds of thousands of inventory in stock. They're just waiting for someone else to sell it, and they're allowing you to sell it in whatever brand. They don't care how it looks or what name you slap on the product. It's just your choice, and that gives you the freedom to start any type of product or like brand, just picking the product that you want and you feel like confident on. And they also allow you to do branded dropshipping, which you could brand the whole box, put a logo on it, and do a whole experience. It doesn't just have to be the actual physical product. And once you dive deeper into that, you could also change the tags, you can start tweaking the product and adding designs to it, and just working and collaborating with manufacturers.
So I come from a world where we call that white labeling. So some of you might know that even in the service industry, right, you can sit there and say, oh, you know, we have our artist or our mechanic, and it might be someone else that you're calling in to provide the service, but they think it's your organization, right, that's doing it. So in the service industry, and even products, right, we call it white labeling, so it's very, very similar. So let's get into the thing that a lot of people are here to hear about, and let's talk about social media marketing, TikTok specifically. So now you have your brand or you have your product and you figured it out, you've done your research. Let's talk creative. Now what? Do we just do a selfie video or whatever and say, okay, I'm wearing it, and then like post it? What's your theory on that?
So I think that changes throughout time. If we go back to like 2015, 2016, the creatives when it comes to Facebook advertising or Instagram were pretty static, just images. You could get away with doing hundreds of thousands of dollars just with photos. And same thing kind of comes to like services. You could have like a mortgage photo, nice discount or type of offer, and let that run and it'll be profitable at that time. But like now it's getting more competitive, so you have to be creative in the way you gather attention, because we're in the attention economy. So like kind of that's what we're paying for every single time, and that's where we're being limited to. There's more and more competitors on your own feed, and now you're competing with all those people that are bidding for your attention, right? So you have to set yourself apart with like how you capture them, and that's where you do video or better photos, and you just keep finding competitors in your space, see what they're doing, see how you can stand out, and record yourself. Videos are the most effective because the platform wants you to stay on the platform for longer. So if you're just having a photo, it's easier to swipe up and ignore it. But if there's a video and you actually make me watch the video, the platform will reward you and reward me as an advertiser, because I made them stay in that in Facebook or Instagram or TikTok for longer. And that's all they want. They want people to just be stuck there. So that's kind of how it works.
Thank you. So many of us in the room, we come from a generation of seeing ads be very commercial, very aesthetically perfect. The lighting's perfect, the audio's perfect. We come from having seen, you know, models, and anything that didn't look like that was like infomercial-ish, and it was kind of like, the slap chop, and it's like, do we really want to go down that route with our brand? But what's happening now in the world of marketing?
Yeah, so that's also a really good question, because it's also changed over time. So it has, at the beginning, I think of 2018 to 2020, high production ads were working, and that's when people were actually paying for 3D renders and all this high quality footage to be able to promote their services. But now with TikTok kind of creating this new, I don't know how to describe it, but just like a new trend of user content, something that feels native. It doesn't feel like an ad. So the more you try to make it an ad, the more you pay for all this high quality camera equipment on all your stuff, it just doesn't feel like relatable to the audience, and they're going to ignore it because they already see that on TV, and we've been used to seeing that in infomercials. The whole actors, models reading the script, and it all feels fake. And if we've been seeing all that content for what, 5, 10 years, however long we've been watching that, you know how to sniff out an ad, and you already know that you don't want to experience that in the platform. You just, there's no reason to engage with it. But when a person makes a video, it feels like a testimonial. You know, they go to the garage to get the package, they open it with you, there's like calm music, and they're just talking about it the way that you would, and expressing the emotions that you would when you're opening a box or like a new product. And then you want to keep watching and see how they react. You want to see their actual feelings and how they makes them feel and how it makes them look and so on. So like that's makes you connect to the brand way more than just a high production ad in a white background doing some type of effects. You know, so it definitely converts more as we're seeing now. Yeah.
what would you say to someone who's wanting to promote their business? Maybe they sell insurance, or what? Maybe it's like a solar company, and I know that those are two very, very different things. Or maybe it's like a personal brand, some of the stuff that like I'm doing with Delia. What would you recommend as far as being able to tell the audience? Do they have to dance and point at all the words? We're all watching TikTok, right? And some people are like, I don't want to dance. I don't want to be doing this silly stuff. What would you recommend to someone who's concerned about that?
Yeah, so I think for that type of industry, it is easier and still a big force is Facebook and Instagram and Google Ads, because it is a type of service that you can kind of get demand by being searched for. But on TikTok, I think you could build an organic awareness to whatever service that you are or the expert. So it's kind of creating an authority for yourself, and the authority then leads to them trusting you, and you can guide them, channel them to whatever business or offer you have. So it's really about just creating a community, even if it's that you have to pay for it and send them somewhere, or that you build organically by doing consistent, providing value, which is like the main thing, and then just making them always selling. There's no reason to stop selling to your audience, because they're not asking you to stop. So unless you've insulted them, and there's no reason to stop giving them offers throughout like their lifespan, that they're following you, and then they're in your newsletter, whatever type of way that you've hooked them to be your audience.
So I'll share with you guys, one of the things that I mentioned it last month is I was like, okay, I'm going to start jumping on TikTok because I'm building a community for women, and I have my podcast and all that, but I wanted to really start creating products around the audience. And so I did a few videos in the office, and then I go to David, right, because he's like the next door over, and I go, look at my TikTok videos. They're only getting like 100 views. When you really think about that, that's like 100 people in the room. But we go, oh my God, it's only 100 views. But anyways, and so I ended up showing him, and he right away goes, look, you're just going continuous. The filter, it was like too many filters, and I'm like, ah. And he really gave me the simplest thing. He's like, just in the app or outside the app, just like make a statement, stop the video, make a statement, stop the video. So there's like a little bit of what they call jump cuts, right? Yeah. And then the other thing was he put me onto the fact that each of the filters on TikTok, I didn't know this because I was so used to Instagram, that the filters themselves can trend, and that there's certain trends tied to music, as many of us know, but there's trends also tied sort of to the filters. So as soon as I just took those two things, which was just use one filter and make sure a lot of people are using that filter that are going viral, but also do the videos and kind of cut them up a little bit, and it relieved the pressure of having to be like, right, in the video. That was it. My account just shot up. I get double-digit video posts easily. One that went to like 60,000. I went over and I was like, oh, I'm TikTok famous, annoying my son to death about this whole TikTok fame thing that isn't real, but it's real, whatever. So I want to thank you for that first and foremost. But let's talk a little bit more about those little nuances of TikTok.
Yeah, so I think I've also learned a lot, and I want to kind of shout out Samantha from my team, because she's also very immersed in the platform. So even though I was too, I think the combination of both seeing the girl side of it and the male side of it really teaches you to see a whole overview of what works. But when it comes to the content, I do believe like we're talking about attention, and we only have 15 seconds majority of the videos. Now they're expanded to 1 minute, 3 minutes, and kind of goes with the answer that I gave previously, because they're trying to keep you on the platform longer. So they did what they do best. They were able to hook you, and not giving you just 15-second videos where you're consuming so much, but it seems like time is just like not passing. Now they're kind of forcing it back to 1 minute, 3 minutes. So because we're trained now to watch short form videos, you have to keep the videos like changing. The best advice I'll give is like every 3 seconds something should happen, even if it's subtitles or your background moving or yourself just engaging with the audience, walking videos. You'd be surprised what works when it comes to that, as long as you're just engaging with the audience and actually like making eye contact as well, and also showing genuine emotions. Now, when it comes to the sounds and the filters, that kind of just goes with the platform. They have full control over that, and they kind of control the entire narrative of what works and what doesn't. But they do make it obvious by letting the algorithm show you that multiple times. So if you see something 3 times in your feed, and you've never liked it or never done anything to interact with that type of video, clearly they want to push it. And it might be the sound, which now TikTok basically controls the music industry, because they could pump a song and make it on the top billboard just by having a lot of users make videos on top of them. So you kind of know if a video or a sound is going to go off or be trendy based on like the amount of videos that people are making with that sound. and that allows you to have like a combination not only of an engaging video, attention hacking, meaning like switching and being constant, like how you maintain their attention, and also now a filter that might be a visual effect to then make it more enjoyable to watch your content besides just something plain that you're just sitting there talking to them.
Let's talk a little bit about something else that we learned that we talk a lot about in the office, and that is when you post a video and it maybe has 0 views, which TikTok is really known for. I know that at first some of the videos I post, it would sit there for like a day or two at 0, and I was like, well, this is not awesome for my ego, right? But and I was tempted to delete the videos. Now those same videos have like 13,000 views, and I just let them ride, and then like you said, it seems like they pause, and there's no action, and then all of a sudden, like a month later, it starts to get traction again because maybe again an audio that's on there, the filter. Can you talk a little bit about the whole deleting the videos off the platform, like we're used to doing on Instagram and Facebook?
So that kind of goes down to the algorithm of the app, and I think at the beginning it was very easy to get the awareness kind of immediate, so people got used to being able to post a video and then get 10,000 views right off the bat, and that was when the app wanted new users. Now that everyone's on it, it's the #1 downloaded app, and they're also allowing advertisers. So at first, when it became a lot of users and not a lot of advertisers, the content started just competing against each other. There's way more competition. So when you post a video, it shows it to 100 people. Then if it likes those 100 people and how they interact with it, then they'll show it to 1,000 people. And then it'll grow depending on how they engage. They'll show it to 10,000 and so on. But now it's also harder because now there's people like me, an e-commerce brand, and business owners that spend money to having ad instead of their organic video. So now there's even more competition for the user and the advertiser to get the attention. So now when someone could post something and get 10,000 views, now when they post a video, there's also people paying $10,000 a day just to show their ads. So why will they show your video first? So now they're able to like show the customer, the consumer of the app, video and then your ad, which now limits the amount of new users that want that awareness immediately. It makes them wait. So now you have to post multiple days and be consistent with it, and then TikTok will find the audience and little by little start pushing your videos because it kind of now needs time to go back to your content and help you push it. It's like they have to pick the people that they push first, and they have like a second wave and so on. But obviously like the behind the scenes of that and the mechanisms might not be like super accurate because I don't work at TikTok, but that's kind of like what I've seen work from the paid advertising side and like the organic side.
One of the things that kind of comes up a lot too is, you know, if you're used to Facebook or you're used to Instagram, you're used to trying to use hashtags and build up your followers and speak to your audience. But on TikTok, something that you brought to my attention is that, yeah, it's great to have all these followers now, but the truth is, chances are my followers aren't actually seeing it. My videos, and when I look at the analytics, they're being viewed by completely random people, right? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the app has a For You page and the people that you follow. Most of the time, rarely do people have the following section default. So when you go on the app, you're always seeing brand new content from new people. You're never really seeing the people that you follow. Sometimes, because TikTok wants to keep you on the app, they'll have 3 random videos and throw the person that you actually committed to following and watching their content in there in your For You. So it still feels natural, but they're controlling that. Like, you could clearly just go to the section where you could just see the content of the people that you follow. But they want you to watch new content because that's how you get new awareness, and also that's how the content creators get reach to be able to have and build a community, right? So it really is more about, yeah, just that.
So what I love about that, if you're a business owner, the amazing thing about that is you're going to be shown to a lot of people that are not within your network, not following you already. And oftentimes in all the other platforms, right, that we're used to, it was, okay, I got a follower, speak to the follower, but how it's so hard, there's so much focus trying to get the new eyeballs onto your post. TikTok has absolutely been the opposite. So you're building your followers, and that's fine and dandy, but the number of new people that are seeing it far outreach the people, right, that follow you.
Yeah, so kind of that's something that teaches you when it comes to the content that you make, even for a brand or for yourself building authority, you have to make sure that you talk to the person like they've never seen you before. You can't get used to Instagram where like, hey guys, I'm back posting again, because you know most of the time only people that follow you are being able to see your content. TikTok is brand new, so every video, even though feels weird actually, because on Instagram you're used to building something, and because people can see and go back and see like your entire journey, and you're building that community, it feels private because you have that follow button. You can actually make your account private as well. But when it comes to TikTok, if you're growing awareness and you're not trying to make your account private, it kind of goes with just making content to get new users every single time. You're not really building a series to maintain your audience happy. You're only doing the series because you want people to pay attention to your channel and learn from you and then follow you. So you really are focused on gathering new customers in a way. So every video should be a new value proposition to them, and also made to introduce yourself. Because what helps you build authority also on TikTok is being able to say what you do. But it feels repetitive when you're doing it to your followers, so you don't want to say it, at least consciously you don't want to say that. But for the new videos that you're making, you should say it, because the person that's watching you, TikTok is not pushing it to your followers. They want new people to see it, so you should introduce yourself like they've never seen you before.
Let's talk about, are there any hacks? I know that I've noticed that if I take the link to a video that I posted and I share it to someone on text, then all of a sudden it seems like that video seems to do better. Do you have any sort of maybe 3 or 4 TikTok hacks that we can try?
I don't know if there will be hacks, but definitely just tips and tricks to help you. So to know what video kind of works, you can base it on your shares and comments. Likes correlate, but likes don't really mean they did too much. They kind of just like the video. But because we talked about them trying to invite you to the platform and keep you there. So if you're inviting new people to then be stuck in that with you, and what they love the most is also when you take them out of other platforms. So if you send it to a friend and you share that video, and they're texting on iMessage, or they're on Instagram scrolling, or on Snapchat, whatever it is, you took them out of the competitor's platform and you brought them to TikTok, and your video might have gotten them to scroll and keep scrolling. So they're gonna push your video a lot if it's shareable. So make content that you could actually share. That's why when you say bring value to the content or piece of content that you make, value could be make them feel good. It doesn't always have to be information, whatever it is that's entertaining. And shareable will get your account rewarded to grow faster. Also consistency. Before you could get away with posting once a day or twice a day, but now I've seen accounts just grow super fast by posting 4 to 5 times a day. And that seems like a lot of work, but remember, it's just 15 seconds. So if you make one sentence, give me one tip, kind of how we're doing right now, we could shoot that one TikTok right now and have one video already batched out. So in an hour, imagine how much content you have ready. And I think one of the best tips I could give you is kind of batch out your content. So if you're planning on growing your personal brand or your business on TikTok, already create 60, 30 pieces of content, so you don't feel that weight of, oh my God, every day I have to shoot all these things. Because how can you do that when you have to actually take care of kids, drive home, live full life, So stick to one day to where you're able to schedule the content. And that's also something that we've been figuring out with my agency, because we have to kind of learn how to batch that out for clients. So knowing that the script is important, you can script out your content. You can do, actually it'll be more market research, see what other people are doing in your industry, and the leaders of that, the authority figures within whatever your topic you're speaking on, then actually create based on that, see how you can innovate from that, and use the training sounds and the aesthetic of the video too. What was the visual that video included that I could kind of replicate in my own way, or that I feel comfortable in sharing. And then you put it you just kind of build that out from there.
One of the things, kind of expanding on what you're saying about batching, and I love batching, one of the things that I had to get used to on TikTok that was different than Instagram and Facebook was the fact that I could just wear the exact same outfit. If you're on Instagram, it was almost like if I did a post, I had to kind of change my look or my hair, even YouTube, right? It's like we gotta change how we look per video. But with TikTok, I noticed that I could literally just sit there and go, this thought, cool, that's one bit of advice. The next video, a different bit of advice, but I'm wearing the same outfit. Because the way the algorithm works, the way David explained, you're getting new eyeballs all the time. You're not necessarily bombarding your existing audience. So you'll see plenty of people that are giving advice like myself, and we're wearing the same thing. I'm wearing the same thing in 3, 4, 5 videos, and I just get it just done, boom, 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 and I post back to back to back, and it's working, it's done. So kind of to round out the conversation, you guys are probably wondering, so where's the take action part? So followers are nice, likes are nice, comments are nice, but let's talk about that link in bio. I know that personally, people took action. I talked about it last month. and I went to my website and I saw the analytics. I had from one video, a 6,500% increase in web traffic from the one video that day. So people are taking action. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to your call to action, that's really more thinking of like a funnel. And for everyone kind of that runs a business here, you know, like a sales funnel, like a cold lead to a hot lead, right? And you have to walk them, and there's like a journey of it. Journey either by building trust throughout your content, or like your brand, or emails, whatever it is that you're constantly through. But it's also just, now that you have that trust and they're watching you, you have to send them somewhere. And you have to tell them what to do every single time. Remember, you have the call to action at the end of the video is like follow or like the video, or go to the link in bio, that type of stuff. But you also have to find out what happens when they land to the website, because remember, TikTok got the attention, didn't really fully sold them on the product or service. Your website is what actually does. So that's where like copywriting comes in, which is just means like writing with like a purpose behind it. Every single word has a purpose, and it should match your audience and resonate with them. So resonate either with the problems or the solution that you've already pointed out in your videos as a problem. And having a link about like a service like Linktree allows you to have multiple offers. But if you have one website for one service, have that there and get them to like get to know me type of form, so they could keep going and fill out a form, and you could qualify them if that's the type of business. Or for e-commerce, a lander with the product photo and the benefits and key things about what I know people want from the product that will make them actually take action and buy the product. So it's just really thinking, what do you want to take them? Some people, like authority figures that I've met that have books and stuff like that, they have a funnel, a video sales letter where they introduce themselves after they click the link. So now not only do they watch you at a 15-second short form video form, but now they get to know you in 1 to 3 minutes. And that's where you can really get creative on the narrative and the story you tell them. And the story is way more important than anything else, because that's how they'll connect to your brand or service or product, and then take action to whatever you're going to tell them to do. It could either be a high ticket offer to where you take them to close them on a $5,000 project, and that's the whole journey and funnel, or it could be just to take them straight to a call for consulting, or to sign up for a mortgage loan, something. So like there's so many ways that you could use that leverage of your call to action and just a journey for the customer. But you have to make sure that it feels frictionless. Like you don't want it to be too many steps to get there. You kind of want to make it the less steps possible.
Well, thank you. So we are going to get into the Q&A session with the audience. I'm not sure how you want to do that with the microphone. I know that they're going to call out, right? And I'm going to repeat the question. Is that how you want to keep it?
Please.
Okay, wonderful. Any final little thoughts before we go into the Q&A, or are you good to go for the Q&A?
I'm good to go.
All right, let's do it. Does anybody have any questions for David regarding TikTok, e-com, or marketing in general? Yes.
You want me to just stand and yell out?
Yeah, and then, and I'll repeat your question.
So obviously, there's a lot of different platforms out there. I mean, TikTok may not be for everybody. I think that's probably, because there's Reels and there's other platforms. But you should have a strategic plan. I think it's important, David. I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying. I mean, you know, you got to have a strategic plan with respect to what your goal is with the entire thing before you just go out there and start doing it, if you will. Obviously, that's what your agency does, is you help put together a game plan. Because some people might be looking at this and saying, man, this is just a lot of information. Somebody like you and somebody like your agency, you guys are able to help people with a strategic plan, like a game plan. Because, you know, like your license, you know, Primerica, you obviously can work, I don't know how many states you can work in, but, you know, it's a global platform. So you have to kind of look at that. So I guess my question to you is, should people sit down and have a complete game plan to see, you know, what makes sense for their particular business?
So the question is, should a business owner or a marketer really sit down first and kind of map it out and create a game plan before they start posting, or should they just go ahead and start warming up and start posting?
I think that kind of goes back to other answers that we had in the entire meeting, is there's a purpose behind how you create your content. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to just get to know you and then book your consulting, but you have an entire agency that does a service? Like, what are you trying to build off that community? Or is it to direct them to an e-commerce brand, to get them to buy? You could also, there's so many ways that you could build communities in different ways. So you could have one TikTok, Instagram. This goes to all platforms. Doesn't matter how you share this information. To where you build an informative base. You just teach in this one community. You just post value, and then the other one is actual just aesthetic of it. Just B-roll, good content with models wearing the product, or your agency doing work, case studies, so on. So, and then you can have the informative section. Send them there, because you know like this is where they see the cool stuff that it's gonna make them buy. So you could even have multiple accounts to drive to traffic to that one offer in creative ways, and also for the plan and having people like that help you. I think it just like makes sense as a business owner to just kind of delegate something that might take too much work. So if someone's already immersed in the platform, it's just going to help you like get to the result that you want much faster. And also you have to be consistent in that platform because it is changing so fast. A trend or something that was relevant might last a week to 2 weeks now. Other platforms you could build off one thing for months, and you can keep the same aesthetic or some type of look for a year and not have a single problem. And that also shows in paid advertisement. When you're running ads to an offer, at first on Facebook you have one photo like we talked about and make it run for 6 months, it'll still be profitable, meaning like low cost per click, low CPMs and stuff like that. But when it comes to TikTok, your creative will fatigue much faster. At the rate that depends how much you're spending on that budget. But if you're spending a decent amount, your ad creative that you paid, let's say we talked about the high production ads, and you paid $5,000 for one video, and that one video stops performing after a week, that's gonna hurt your pocket as a business owner. But if you're able to buy 60 videos or make yourself 100 pieces of content, then now you're able to like the longevity of your offer, your marketing angles, it's gonna last so much more, it's gonna be more effective, and it's not gonna fatigue as much. So that you're able to scale faster.
Does anyone else have a question? Yes, right there in the back.
Okay, so
I'll
just stand up first.
Yeah.
When it comes to microphones, you don't want to look because when people have a microphone on them, you can hear them. It sounds more clear. I'm more likely to watch the video. It sounds more professional. Whereas if you don't have a microphone, I'm like I can barely hear you. How would you go about the microphone? What kind do you use?
So the question is regarding audio quality and what kind of microphone equipment, if at all, is needed. Really quick, I could say I don't use a mic when I do my videos and they're doing okay, but then I watch some videos and they're like, I'm like, oh no, mine are horrible. So let's talk about that.
For the type of mic, don't really have that answer. Then you can ask my creative director there. He knows more about like the equipment stuff. But I don't think you need to worry about that at the beginning of your brand unless you're already getting traction, or it's the look that you're going for. So we think about like the ASMR, I think it is called. That's a whole mic base. So you don't want to do that with your iPhone because you could just buy not a mic like this, but maybe like a Blue Jetty type of mics, kind of like podcast mics. In those, you can make that type of content. So you chose a category, niche of people that want and value audio, right? But for regular, someone that makes pranks or just a cool aesthetic of day in life, all those things are like kind of trends on TikTok, then you don't really need a good mic, right? You just need a good environment sound and just your voice. But I do think audio and your voice being clear matters a lot because a lot of people are also wearing like headphones, and if your voice sounds soothing and it's a good volume, you want to keep watching that video. If it's hard to hear or like just super loud, you also will push it away. So it's kind of just having a balance in that.
Okay.
Hi David, thank you so much for coming and sharing all these great tips with us. I do have a question. How do you find a good manufacturer? Do you use Alibaba, AliExpress, and how do you go about contacting them and making sure that the product that you want is actually going to be the product?
So we have an Econ question. The question is, how do you find a good product? Do you go to source on Alibaba? How do you do that?
So that answer has changed as I kept learning more and more. I'm sure it will continue to change as I learn more on that side of the business. But at first, it was just starting with AliExpress and just sending that product directly to the customer, then realizing there's no quality check in that process, right? So it was more focused on that, going to Alibaba and focusing on buying more inventory. Why? Because when I've done one in-house brand to where I bought the inventory myself and had it so I wouldn't drop ship. That did limit me and also taught me what a lead time is. I can't sell a product and just have it on buy now the entire time because now I'm actually running out of stock. And so I'm offering you 5-day shipping, I can't send that to you because I'm out of stock. But for the manufacturer question, you kind of want to have a personal relationship with them, so try to message them off the platform and start asking for quality check, and also they give you samples. You still have to kind of pay for the samples most of the time, but that's the only way you're gonna know what type of quality your product is. And remember, they also have their own like ways to make more money off of you, so they have different type of quality levels. So even though you might see a photo of a product and it looks good and the reviews match, they're still gonna send you the cheap version, unless you tell them directly, hey, I want the highest quality part. And I've learned this from one of my first products. It was a wireless transmitter for like a guitar and your speaker, so you wouldn't have to deal with like a cable. And I remember just sending it straight to the customer and then ordering one myself to check. And they weren't like the best quality. So I had to ask the supplier to up the quality, and there was a whole different, same product, but way better electronics within the product that made it higher quality. It costed me like $3 more. They never told me that option until I asked, and I saw a flaw in it. So making sure that you have a quality check system is gonna help you a ton.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Where was that person?
This one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is fantastic, thank you. I had a question about like ads. Like, what would you say is a good percentage of spend that you should do towards your ads? And then with that ads, like diving into the analytics a little bit more around like, how do you market specifically, let's say Corona, right? And like tapping into that, if you could just kind of break down the way that you guys do that would be awesome.
So the question is about ad purchases, ad spends, and how to sort of drill down into your local market.
I forgot the thumb rule when it comes to like the percentage. I think it's like 10% of your revenue or net that you should put into marketing, but don't quote me on that. But you want to measure it based on like your KPIs, so like your key performance indicators of what makes your product or service profitable. So you have to know your numbers to the cost of everything. Like I mentioned the example of like the $30 product, I get it for 10, and I'm willing to pay up to $10 because I want $10 profit. So like your margins would change. For drop shipping, a lot of our margins average is like 20 to like 30%, right? So I know I'm willing to spend a good percentage of my money on advertising, but I have a break-even point, and that's called a ROAS, return on ad spend. So let's say I get it for 10 and I'm selling for 20, I have two ROAS to break even. So every dollar that I put in is getting 2 back. So to make it profitable, let's say I get 3 ROAS on that ad or ad creative that you're running, then now you know, okay, this is making me money. And I know the amount of profit that I'm making. Now I can keep pumping more budget behind that ad creative or ad interest, whatever your platform you're dealing with, and then you're able to scale that way. But also for local business to get to that section, I think Facebook ads still has an advantage of that because you can do mile radius and target. But remember, costs go from how broad it is. So the broader your audience is, the cheaper it will be. But when it comes to limiting your audience, you're gonna have to pay more because it's more focused attention that you're trying to get, more focused clients. So your CPMs, which is your cost per 1,000 impressions, will go up, and reaching those people will cost you way more than it is to just do United States. So launching ad, obviously the step-by-step techniques to that, just you can't explain it here, but it's just like launching the ad yourself and choosing the area, you know you're gonna spend more, so have a budget dedicated to that, and don't freak out when you don't get like leads or results like immediately. That was one of the greatest factors that helped me success with e-commerce, is actual patience. Like running one ad and seeing it being profitable for 3 days, it made me always turn it off and stop me from actually seeing the results of something that was building off. It's just like TikTok. If she were to delete her videos and stop the traction, she wouldn't have seen the result of a video getting 13K views a month after. So same thing with ads. If you spend money, give it time. Give it time so the data that you're buying could actually gather, and you could do a data analysis. If you're paying $100 for all this KPIs, knowing 1,000 people went to my website, only 300 people actually clicked add to cart, and then only 30 people actually bought. Now you know that, but how can you know that if you're not willing to spend money and invest in your business to know those numbers, to know what to fix? Because if you know you're getting a lot of traffic and a lot of people are actually going to your website, but none of them are buying, then you know, okay, it's not my video, it's not my ad. This is profitable, but it's definitely my page. I'm not converting them. I'm not channeling and messaging that actually resonates with them and makes them want to take an action. So it's really just having a checklist of every part of the journey of the customer that should be like pretty decently built, so you know you're investing your money in the right way.
If somebody wants to get a hold of you and have a consultation and an evaluation of their business and their marketing plan, how do they do that?
Yeah, so right now I have the website. The website's being built, but it is live. So you guys can go to emotionmedia.io, and that's kind of where you guys can find all the information there. Emotion Media.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's give a round of applause. This is pretty awesome. So David's going to stick around and answer questions if you want to come up and visit with him. But David, I wanted to give to you a challenge coin. Every year, our chairman of the board selects a different theme. This year's theme is creating jobs and building a stronger community. And with what you've shared today is going to help a lot of people to be able to expand their businesses and create more jobs locally. So thank you so very much. Mama, you must be very proud. Yeah. Rachel, thank you so very much for doing this. And I just have a couple of quick things to close out with. If you would like to network with some of the people, again, what we want to do is build relationships. Today, you heard from each of you had done your quick little introduction, but maybe someone's interested in doing business with you, or maybe you're interested in doing business with them. So while David's going to have a long line of people that are going to go up and talk with him, maybe you can do a little bit of business relationships and building relationships there. So on behalf of the Corona Chamber of Commerce and the City of Corona, we thank you so much for spending your time today, this morning with us. I want to thank Rachel as well as David. Excellent presentation. Thank you so much. We're into TikTok and beyond, so have a great day.